Now we have seen total two types of followers, type of motions of followers. First was uniform velocity and the next was SHM. Now let's go to the problem number 3. Here we are going to take a case of uniform acceleration and retardation. So again, like last time, let us write down the data of the problem, whatever is given. Type of follower, it is going to be ruler. It will be knife edge this time. Type of follower, knife edge. Type of motion, of follower is a uniform acceleration and retardation. Then line of action. Now this time we will make some change. Last two problems line of action was radial. Now we will take it as offset. Offset with distance. Once it is offset, you need to know the distance. So let's say 15 mm is the offset distance. Then the base circle diameter 60 mm. Stroke, say maybe again 40 mm. Cam angle, details, theta rise, say 90 degrees, theta 12, 90 degrees, theta return 90 degrees, and remaining is again theta 12, remaining 90 degrees. Okay, so now this becomes the data for the third problem. So write down the data. Now what we see is, how are we going to draw this? One is the procedure, and more importantly, the next thing is how is going to be the curve of this. How are you going to draw the displacement versus time curve for uniform velocity? Now, before we do that, let us see what is the uniform acceleration type of velocity. So any velocity which is having uniform acceleration, that kind of velocity we need for the follower. The follower is going to move with a type of velocity which will have uniform acceleration. Now any example you know where the acceleration is uniform. An object is moving with uniform acceleration. The example is, suppose is the object. Now it is falling down by gravity. So when the object is falling down by gravity, it is moving with a velocity, and that velocity is such that it will have an acceleration. And what is that acceleration? When the object is falling down, what is the kind of acceleration acting on it? It is a gravitational acceleration, which is constant. That means any object which is falling down, that gives us an example of a constant acceleration case. Now for this object, when it is falling down, you must be knowing from the physics which you have learned that the displacement is equal to ut plus half gt square. This equation you must have learned. Now out of that, let us forget the ut because initially velocity is 0. And what you see here, half gt square, out of that g is acceleration, which is constant, half is constant. So all this means is displacement is equal to, displacement is equal to some constant which is consisting of gravity also, and then time square. So displacement is proportional to time square. It is proportional to square of time. So I write here displacement proportional to square of time. Now when function is like this, then I'll write one function. Y is a function of x square. If you are given a function y which is moving as per square of x, then how is the graph of this y versus x? The graph of y versus x. How do you draw the graph? You make one table. You write here x. You write here y. Now when x is 1, y is 1. When x is 2, y is 4. X is 3, y is 9. X is 4, y is 16. And then you plot x here and y here. And that curve, suppose you draw 1, 1, 2, 4, 3, 9. So that curve will come like this. And this is a parabolic curve. So this is a parabola. So this also you must be knowing that for a parabola, equation of parabola is y is equal to x square. Which means that for a constant acceleration case, the displacement versus time curve which you are going to draw will be of the shape of a parabola. So if you remember in the earlier two cases, now this is problem number 3. First problem, constant velocity. So the velocity versus the displacement versus time curve was constant, like this straight line. I'll just repeat what was done earlier. This was displacement versus time curve for the first case. Then in the second case, which we have done last time, SHM, this was constant velocity. Because displacement was like this, the velocity was constant. Now in case of SHM, we have to see how this curve is drawn, displacement versus time, according to the velocity curve has come, which you have seen. Now the displacement versus time curve will be like a parabola that you have to draw. That will give you S1, S2, which we have to use for the purpose of drawing the cam profile. So now let's see how this is done. So the basic data of the problem you write, and this extra information you can just jot down because our further work is based on this information. Okay, now let's draw the cam profile. So we start with the base circle. So I'll draw here. So first the base circle is drawn, and now we know that there is a offset follower, and the offset distance is 15 mm. See, last time we have drawn the follower here because the follower was radial. The line of action of the follower was passing from the center of the rotation of the cam. Now it is going to be offset by 15 mm. So we draw one line at a distance of 15 mm like this. And this is the position of the follower going to be. So the follower is here. Now when you draw the follower, these lines which are drawn, they are showing the support. Now this line should be of same inclination. Some students draw this in this direction, here they draw in the opposite direction. That is not correct because this and this is same. So it is like a hole in which it is moving like this. So the lines must be drawn of the same inclination. So now you can see the position of the follower is like this. On the base circle it is touching here. Now in such case, how are we going to draw the profile that is now to be learned. Moreover, the type of motion is constant acceleration. So the curve which we have just now seen has to be a parabolic curve. So we are now going to use a procedure for drawing a parabola. So what we do is, I will draw now here the displacement versus time curve. So this 0, 0 is a displacement, is a time and angle. It can be time, it can be angle. So for the first say 90 degrees, so I am considering this as theta rise, that is 90 degrees. Then suppose the displacement is 40 mm, we are marking here 40 mm. So this is 40 mm. See now this distance, last time we have seen, this distance can be any distance, suitable distance which can divide. But this has to be actual 40 mm, because this 40 mm we are going to take from here. After the theta rise is complete, the follower has to move by 40 mm. So here also it has to be 40 mm displacement. So this has to be taken actual 40 mm. Now we do that, then we draw the grid. This is the grid that is drawn. We divide this into equal number of parts, like 6 parts. Six parts are there. Now we draw the vertical lines. Then what we do is, this middle line we divide into 6 parts. Then we write the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. The middle line is divided into 6 parts like this. Now from here we are going to join 0 to 1, 0 to 2, 0 to 3. From this side, this point to 3 which is same, then 4, 5. So we draw the lines like this. If you remember, for drawing the parabola, this procedure was used earlier. So having done this, now we are going to get the different displacements. So when the angle is 0, displacement is 0. When the angle is full 90 degrees rise, the displacement is full. So this is 6 and this is 0. Now wherever these lines are, see line from 1 is touching the line from 1, vertical line from 1 here. So this is 1. Line from 2 touching the line from 2. So this is 2. So you have to see 2 and 2. Line from this 2, line from this 2. These are the 2 lines. Line from this 3, line from this 3. So S3 is this. Line from 4, line from 4. So this is 4. Line from 5, line from 5. So this is S5. Line from 6, line from 6. So this is S6. So these are the final points what we wanted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So when you draw, the curve will come something like this. Displacement versus time curve will be like this, which is following the formula for parabolic curve. So now we have got the displacements. Now this S1, S2 displacement we are going to take on the corresponding lines. So theta rise is 90 degrees. So here there is a 90 degrees position which we divide into same number of parts, so 6 parts. Now here there is some difference, yes. There is some difference here. Maybe I will not draw this line. We are not going to show the axis. Now see what happens. There is a offset distance here. So when the line is 0 position, initial position, that time the follower is here. So what we first do is we join this initial position to the center. Center of course has to be marked. like this. Now we join this and this. Now this is going to be our zero line. Zero line is, if I extend, this is zero line passing from the tip of the follower. Now which is the line what we have drawn and which is this line? Line of action is here. This is the line of action. The follower is going to move along the line of action. And what we have drawn is a radial line. So we have drawn the radial line as a reference line, as a starting point. Now the angle should start from here. 90 degrees should start from here. So you measure the angle 90 degrees. Somewhere here it will come. So that this 90 degrees rise. So this is zero line and this is going to be your line number 6. So now you are going to divide angle 90 degrees from here to here 90 degrees corresponding to theta rise into 6 parts. So when we do like that, the other positions. So we have drawn the 6 divisions. Six. Now see what next. Up to here it is fine. Initial position, final position, theta rise 90 degrees. Right now follower is here, 0 position. Now the next thing is we are going to mark S1. We have got S1 displacement for line number 1. Now this S1 we are going to mark. Shall I mark like this here, S1? Like this. If I mark S1 like this, is it correct? This distance S1 is marked on line number 1. Is it right or wrong? See now, when this line number 1 comes here, that is the first division. That time, what will happen is, the follower you want to follow is going to move like this. Follower is not going to move like this. Follower is here. That means the line of action of follower and the radial line, you can see here that there is some angle. Radial line and line of action, there is some angle. What lines you are drawn? They are all the radial lines. So these lines, they are radial lines. Now this you did not draw show when you are drawing, it is only for explanation. These lines are radial lines, all the 6 lines are radial lines, and if you look at the first radial line from 0, with respect to radial line, the line of action is behind in this direction by certain angle. So that angle, suppose I measure, suppose I call that angle as alpha. So you find out how much is alpha. Find out how much is alpha. Measure and find out how much is alpha. Now once you know the position alpha where the line of action lies, then what you will have to do is, the S1 is not marked here. S1 is to be marked on line of action because this is the displacement going to be. The displacement S1, S2, S3, S4, S5 should come along the line of action. So here, with respect to radial line, we have to draw line of action in this position. So what we do is, here we take the angle backwards, alpha angle like this, wherever it comes, and draw a line which is somewhere like this. This is going to be the line of action. And on this line of action, we take displacement S1. So S1 is taken on one line, additional line drawn, which is the line of action. So radial line, line of action. Radial line, line of action. So right now we have got radial lines. We have to draw line of actions also everywhere by going back by alpha degree. So here also there will be one line like this, back by alpha degrees. Alpha. And on that we mark S2 now. Again, go back, draw a line by alpha. Go back by alpha, and on that you mark S3 now, whatever the distance. Is 3. Go back by alpha and mark S4. Then on 5, go back by alpha and then mark is 5. 6, go back by alpha and then mark is 6. So as you see here, everywhere we have gone back by alpha because line of action was behind the radial line by alpha. So whenever, suppose you take point number 3, this line number 3, radial line number 3, when this line number 3 comes here, then the line of action will match with this. And the follower is going to move on the line of action, therefore the displacement S3 is taken along the line of action so that this will take this position. So these two lines which are there, line of action and radial line, so when they come here, radial line will be like this and line of action will be like this. Therefore we have taken the distances here. Keep this in mind, it is very simple to understand. If you know the reason, then you can automatically do it, you will never forget. But if you just remember that draw an angle alpha and do like this, take the distances on alpha line. If you do like that, you will forget because you don't know why it is done like this. If you don't know why it is done, then you will not be able to remember it for long. But if you know the reason, then you will never forget even after 25 years. So that is what is explained now. And after this is done, the next job is obviously very simple, where you are going to join. Now we are going to join all the points. So the initial point is here. Initial point, starting point is here. Next point is here, 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 here and here. So that is going to be the position of the